There's a kind of tiredness that comes from holding on too tightly. The slow ache of trying to control what was never ours to begin with. Tonight's reading from 2 Kings meets us right in that ache. And Bishop Sheen offers a single line that identifies what lives underneath it. In our Wednesday evening reading from 2nd Book of Kings, chapter 2, we hear, "When the Lord was about to take Elijah up to heaven in a whirlwind, he and Elisha were on their way from Gilgal. Elijah said to Elisha, 'Please stay here. The Lord has sent me on to the Jordan.' 'As the Lord lives, and as you yourself live, I will not leave you,' Elisha replied. And so the two went on together. 50 of the guild prophets followed, and when the two stopped at the Jordan, they stopped facing them at a distance. Elijah took his mantle, rolled it up, and struck the water, which divided, and both crossed over on dry ground. At the start, Elijah keeps trying to release Elisha, and Elisha will not have it. 'As the Lord lives, and as you yourself live, I will not leave you.' There's no grasping in those words. He isn't trying to get anything from Elijah, just refusing to be anywhere except beside him at the end. And so they walk on together to the Jordan, and the water parts, and they cross. That refusal to leave is doing something underneath the whole story. When Elijah finally turns and asks what Elisha wants, the answer comes from someone who has already stayed. When they had crossed over, Elijah said to Elisha, "Ask for whatever I may do for you before I am taken from you." Elisha answered, "May I receive a double portion of your spirit." "You have asked for something that is not easy," Elijah replied. "Still, if you see me taken up from you, your wish will be granted. Otherwise, not." As they walked on conversing, a flaming chariot and flaming horses came between them, and Elijah went up to heaven in a whirlwind. When Elisha saw it happen, he cried out, my father, Israel's chariots and drivers." But when he could no longer see him, Elisha gripped his own garment and tore it in two. Then he picked up Elijah's mantle that had fallen from him and went back and stood at the bank of the Jordan. Wielding the mantle that had fallen from Elijah, Elisha struck the water in his turn and said, "Where is the Lord, the God of Elijah?" When Elisha struck the water, it divided, and he crossed over. A double portion of your spirit. It is a large request, and Elijah says so. But notice what the condition is. It isn't about earning anything or proving worthy of the gift. The condition is presence. If you see me taken up, your wish will be granted. The whole thing depends on staying close enough to see. Then the moment comes. The chariot, the horses of fire, Elijah carried up in a whirlwind. Elisha cries out and tears his garment, and only then does he notice what is on the ground beside him. The mantle has fallen. He didn't snatch it from Elijah before he went. He stood where he was supposed to stand, and what he was meant to receive came down to him. That's the part that lands at the end of a long day. So much of what we carry into the night comes from the opposite movement. We've been reaching all day, reaching for control over something we can't control, for an answer to a question we can't answer yet, for the version of the conversation we wish we'd had instead of the one we did. The grasping is exhausting, And most of the time, it doesn't even get us anywhere. Elisha shows us a different posture. He stays where he was asked to stay, watching, hands free. And when the gift comes, it comes because he was there to receive it. Whatever we've been clutching onto today, this reading is gently asking us to set it down before we sleep. Welcome to the Sacred Heart family. I'm Aaron. We pray together, walk with the saints, and reflect on the gospel every day. If this is the kind of reflection your evening needs, like, subscribe, and click the notification bell. As we prepare our hearts for rest, we now turn to the wisdom of Bishop Fulton Sheen. To demand love is to lose love. A selfish heart creates its own vacuum. There's a hard truth in those words, and a strange kind of mercy in them, both at the same time. We all know the experience he's talking about. Maybe it was a conversation where we wanted something from someone, and the more we pushed, the further it slipped away. Or a relationship where the love was right there, and somehow the demand made it disappear. Sheen doesn't soften it. To demand love is to lose love. And then the second line, which is even more piercing if we sit with it. A selfish heart creates its own vacuum. Not a wound the world inflicts on us, and not a deprivation someone else is responsible for, but an emptiness that comes from the very turning of the heart inward. The vacuum is something we make. That can sound severe at the end of a long day, especially if the day has already been hard. But there's a real kindness underneath it. If the emptiness comes from the closing of the heart, then the filling comes from the opening of it. Not from the world finally giving us what we've been demanding, but from the simple, ordinary act of stopping the demand. How many of the things we keep replaying in our heads tonight have something of that demand in them? The way someone should have noticed, the way the day should have gone, the recognition we were owed and didn't get. None of those bring us peace. They just deepen the vacuum. What Sheen is offering us quietly is a way out. Open the hand and stop the demanding, trusting that what is meant for us will come because we were standing where we were meant to stand, and our hands free to receive it. Tonight is a place to set things down. Whatever this day required of us, whatever weight or grace it brought. Rest in His presence and let Him carry the rest. Share your intentions in the comments of the video so that the Sacred Heart family may walk with you in faith and charity. Tonight's Catholic evening prayers are waiting for you at sacredheartpreciousblood.com. Click the link in the pinned comment now, and I'll see you there. God bless.